My name is Irene Pagio. I'm the principal advisor at InsureMay Advisory. I'm super proud to be here today at this all-women's panel, which is very rare and also very diverse. Thank you so much. So we've all heard the saying, life insurance isn't bought, it's sold. And that's typically because life insurance is very complex and therefore it's usually agent driven. And insurers have a difficulty scaling profitability, especially in the middle market. So luckily, with the rise of AI, smarter product design, insurers are finding new ways to make life insurance easier to understand, easier to buy, and more accessible. So in this session, Prudential Financial, as well as Neutrinos, explore how they're leveraging next generation technology to transform the middle market and really redefine how life insurance is distributed and sold. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing two very outstanding women leaders in our industry. Each of them will share more about their background, but with me, I have Chris Kiyakio, CEO of Simplified Solutions at Prudential Financial, and Ramya Babu, who is the co-founder and president of North America at Neutrinos. Ladies, maybe a quick introduction?
Hello, everyone. My name is Cristiane Kiyakio. I'm originally from Brazil, have been in the US for about 11 years, and I lead Simplified Solutions for Prudential. The goal for Simplified is to reach the low and middle income customers and expand access to life insurance. Prior to Prudential, my career has been in PNC, always in the mass distribution of life insurance.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all and nice to join you all ladies on the call. So firstly, I have to say that Neutrinos is been in the industry for the last couple of 10 years now. We are new to the US market. It's been a year that we have been in this market. But what US sees us right now with some of the carriers that are looking at us is a new fresh air, if I can say so, modern technology and futuristic landscape is what we are trying to provide, both from an AI perspective as well as what can we bring to insurance. Insurance is a focus area as well. So that's Neutrinos for us.
Awesome. Well, let's start off by defining what the middle market is, especially in the US. So I'd love to hear from both of you on how you define the middle market in the US life insurance space, and then what makes this segment so challenging yet so important to serve. We'll start with you, Chris.
So for us, the middle market is pretty much households that have an annual income of up to $150,000 or $200,000 a year. And the main challenge is 41% of all Americans cannot afford $1,000 or emergency expense. And when you look at these families, there's a huge gap pretty much on protection, right? So we're not talking here about life insurance as a wealth management tool or a tax optimization tool. This is about giving protection for these families that sometimes are trying to get out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle, sometimes are trying to get out of the debt management cycle, which means it's the moment where they need the protection the most. So that's pretty much the market we're going after.
Ramya, do you have anything to add to what makes this segment so challenging in the US?
It's not just US, rest of the world, if I have to compare to rest of the world and US market as such. I think the rest of the world and US are going through the same space where you're looking at digital adoption to be really high with people. But then you see that the insurance penetration is very low. The reason is that the core that you're trying to use, usually most of the tech companies say that, insurance companies say that I live with the legacy system. That is something that is changing in the rest of the world. They are now bringing in AI within the core system. How do we work with AI and try to get out of that legacy kind of a mode? I think it's the same playbook that US is also adopting to. And I think technology and AI is going to change the way insurance is being sold in this market as such. And I think Simplified is doing it lovely from that perspective.
Awesome. And so, Chris, you did mention your experience in the Latin America region. How would you compare it to similar segments in Latin America? And what are the biggest barriers stopping middle market consumers from buying life insurance today?
Yeah, so I think some of the barriers are similar, like accessibility, right? It's a very important obstacle in the United States. Usually, the agency channel is more focused on the high net worth segment. The educational aspect, right? How do you use life insurance? How do you leverage? How do you buy it? Obviously, affordability, right? Most of the times, people don't understand how much you need and try to go too high on the limits. It becomes too expensive and you just drop out of the purchase path, right? So there's all these components that are obstacles, I think, throughout the world. I think in Latin America, there is a probably more advanced way of getting access to these customers through partnerships. And that's a little bit of what we're trying to do in the US to bring that digital only partnership embedded type approach to the United States. To help expand access to these customers. So what I would say is in Latin America, we see a lot of financial institutions distributing this type of products and trying to close that gap. Here we have a very large opportunity, especially when we think about leveraging the digital tools to do the embeddedness of the offer.
I think to add to that also is that you see the market from a distribution perspective, it's completely changing. You're looking at bite-sized products that you're trying to sell. Today, you're selling through Policy Genius as an aggregator that if you're talking about, and also you're talking about retail, like what Simplified Solution is trying to do through financial services that you're trying to do, or guaranteed products that you're trying to sell. Something like retail, if you take example of an Amazon, now your personas of selling to an Amazon is completely different. You will have to modify the pricing and the product that you're looking at for an Amazon customer. And it's not just Amazon as one unit. The personas within Amazon could be vendors who are selling on Amazon. The persona could be someone who's buying on Amazon platform as well. And also you're looking at door-to-door deliveries that the person is looking at. You're trying to sell life insurance policies to these personas, and these personas need to be bundled like the offers that we are trying to do. All of their offerings are different. How does technology and AI come in place to see how can I give specialized offering to these personas? That's what AI is trying to do, and the kind of technology that Neutrinos is trying to provide.
Yeah, that's super insightful from the embedded side. But from the agent side or agent-led side, how are you seeing distribution models evolve with digital and AI-driven approach from an AI approach to agents, from agent selling?
So, like I said, agents is no more just the agents part of it that you're looking at. In fact, I should take example of just not Simplified Solution, but also within your mothership of Prudential. What we're trying to do is, for example, high net worth customers that you're talking about, there are long forms that you get. Along with that, you also get doctor certification as well. They could be customers who are trying to say that I'm not a diabetic person in the form, but then you're seeing that the doctor is saying that he's taking a medicine that is diabetic. So this usually, for someone to give a quote, when it comes from an agent, it takes months together for you to respond back with a quote. Now we are bringing in AI here. The AI will do the first level of, looking at the things and, taking the data out of it and analyzing and saying that, this is mismatching. There's something that is missing. There is NIGO cases. I can ask for more information as such. So this is something that you don't need to go to a TPA as such. AI itself will be able to do this in milliseconds. You will be able to probably give a quote as well. And that's where AI is moving towards. That's where platform companies are moving towards as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. And then, Chris, from the carrier side, we're always curious, what do you think is the best omni-channel combination for distribution channels?
Well, I think as we in insurance business, right? Wouldn't it be nice to just have something digital end to end that you can buy and maybe get a product recommended based on your profile, and then just close it online and then just do all the servicing online and that all the interactions that you need online, right? It sounds so close to what we need. And yet in the US, we're still building towards that, right?
So true.
So I think for us, it's really about, one, having the accessibility to the customer, right? Being able to be where the transaction is happening, be able to be embedded at first with the partnership. then obviously have a lot of help, especially of agentic AI, to help with the educational part, right? To help replace the great insight that the agent brings on a face-to-face, to bring that in front of that customer, to help them navigate the process, how much you need, why do I need this information. And then at the end, you might even need some sort of human to support that. But if you do a great job on the first two, you might not. Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's how do we really think simple, and how do we really put ourselves in the shoes of that customer, thinking like there is no agent. How can we now navigate and help them navigate this process to, at the end of the day, get out of it with a policy that is both closing their needs and it's are affordable, that they can actually keep for the protection of the family, and just bring them into the insurance industry, right? I think that's the probably best combination.
Yeah. You speak about navigating that, and navigating, partnerships are vital to the success, right? And you can't, that's basically what this conference is all about too. There's so many vendors and you kind of meet and you make these partnerships, right? So they're vital to success, especially when it comes to reaching underserved markets, which the middle market is. So from each of you, what role do partnerships with insurtechs, fintechs, other platforms play in expanding the access for middle market?
So I think for us at Prudential Simplified Solutions, partnerships are the key component of how we're going to get to these customers, right? Because I think as we think about life insurance, the direct-to-consumer model has been there for years and not really well represented. So the idea is we need to go where the customers are. These customers, the low and middle income customers, are not going to come to us through the traditional channels that we have today. So how do we go and be in front of them? And partnerships can really help us with that, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is partnerships can also help us with data. Mm-hmm. And to Ramya's point before, use that data to bring a much more customized offer and a much better understanding of your needs, right? So I'll give you an example. If you have a credit union account, right, and you're doing a loan, I know your need, right? Like the credit union will tell me a little bit about you, and I know exactly how I can make sure that if something happens to you, your family doesn't have to suffer with that loan for whatever time, right? So those partnerships bring the distribution channel, but they also bring the insights for us to create better products and serve best these customers. And on the other side of the vendor side, I think it's important for us to have partners that understand our model and have experience. And in Neutrinos, I think it's it's been one of the great aspects of the partnership is how Neutrinos is not only helping us from a tech perspective, but really invested into solving the problem and getting the product out in the market.
I should
Yes,
add to
please
that,
add to it.
and I
Yeah.
should say something about your leadership as well, Chris. So when there is a challenge that we have, she has a fantastic team under her. So she doesn't see us as a vendor. So I think that's what is the key about a partnership that you're talking about. This green field that you're talking about and setting up this entire thing. When she has a challenge, she puts the entire team together. So that's Neutrinos, CTS, and the entire team of Prudential, tech team and the business team. We put our heads together. Yes, you give us good food as well now and then, but then we come up with a solution. So it's a team, one team that is coming up with and things that has not happened before. You're bringing in things that has never happened before. We are trying to formulate things. You have problems with regulations. So that is something that we do lovely. And thanks for that.
Thank you. And if you come work for Prudential, we have good food. So take that out.
Teamwork and good food. What more can you ask for? I want to make sure that we touch base on this. And Ramya, Neutrinos champions the term coreless transformation.
Yeah,
we
that's
did.
right.
Yes, and we definitely did a panel on that last year. But can you explain what that means in practice?
Yeah.
And why it matters for insurers modernizing in today's AI world?
Okay, firstly, I need to clear this, that coreless doesn't mean that you're replacing your core. What that means is that how do I reduce? Core is always a nerve of any insurance company, right? Let's all understand that. So whatever we do is over and above that. So the key is about how do you ensure that the core is not utilized too much. So we have a middleware layer which is called as data fabric. It's a sync to your core system that you have. So if you want to issue a quote in milliseconds, we have customers in Saudi who wants to issue a quote in milliseconds. You can't do that if you have to hit your core every single time. And your core systems, we have dealt with AS400 systems, COBOL systems. Now, these systems are not wrong. They are perfectly fine. The only reason is that there is new channels that's come in. This system cannot handle that kind of a challenge that you will have. That's where the middleware that comes, that is data fabric, the sync that you have, which is able to give issue quote in milliseconds. That's what helps you in doing that. And the other part is about the AI part of it. Today, people want to use AI unless you have the data that is present in your system and you can't go to the core system every single time. That is where data fabric comes in place. That's Neutrinos we do. So AI, building your AI bots becomes much more easier. Predictive analysis that you're talking about of your historical data, getting the pricing that is meant for your customers, specifically for that person, is something that is achievable. And that's what Neutrinos is doing from a coreless aspect of it.
Awesome. Well, looking ahead, both of you guys have such large visions for both of your companies. So I want to make sure that we touch base on that before we go. So maybe starting with you, Chris, you've built a greenfield, digital first, human-centered model that's breaking traditional molds in life insurance. How do you see this model evolving over the next 3 to 5 years? And what's the larger vision driving Simplified solutions?
So I think over the next 3 to 5 years, we have to really focus on bringing more partners that are in the customer segments that we want on the low and middle income customer segment. So our goal is to really go to the partners to make sure that we make our products available. I think in the future, what I would like is to really see the Americans, more and more Americans, not struggling with that $1,000 expense. I think my ambition is no more GoFundMe when someone passed away and people cannot afford that final expense, cannot afford that last need, that the family is left with that burden, right? So if we can help more and more Americans get that protection, that's where our Simplified Solutions mission is achieved.
I love that mission, by the way. That's very real and very true. Ramya, with you, as Neutrinos continues to expand its presence in the US and power platforms like Simplified Solutions, what's the company doing differently to shape the next phase of the insurer transformation in this market?
Right. I think what we have been doing differently so far is something that I have to say. One, my CEO is also here. He keeps saying this, that we don't know how to sell, right? So what we are good at is the technology is brilliant, what we have. And the customers have embraced it. Some of the large customers, if I can mention Prudential, Manulife, Sun Life across multiple countries, have embraced Neutrinos. It's only happened through word of mouth that has happened so far. What we want to do now onwards is to bring this up front to people, saying that how different are we trying to do this transformation. It was something that Chris was her vision that she had. She could have gone with any of the product companies. If she has to stand up something very fast, quickly, and something that is modern and from that perspective, she cannot go building a core system first, then a workflow system, then a data system. So Neutrinos is able to do something very fast with her. And that's something that we are trying to work with partners as well here locally. We have some strategic partners that we work with, LTIM, CTS. There are niche partners that we work with as well, who are trying to use Neutrinos platform and build these AI capabilities as well. We want to go across the whole chain of AI. AI is going to disrupt, guys. There's no question about it. The key is that how do we use technology platforms such as ours, and the carriers themselves can build these models within them, within their environment itself. That's the key aspiration that we are looking at, and the vision that we can build along with the carriers to take it to the market. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, thank you both for your time and expertise. Your work in expanding access for the middle market is obviously making a real difference. Please join me in thanking our panelists.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much
for the moderation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.